Hi guys, and welcome to this week's live, and I am joined as always by my co-host Mr. Wayne Goodman.
Hello.
All right, how's you?
I'm all right, thank you. I've got my new glasses on.
Oh, looking very smart, mate. I'm just going to turn your volume up a tad. Hang on 1 second.
How's that? Am I too low?
Yeah, it's not something I'd ever say or ever thought I'd say, but I think, where is it? Wayne Goodman. Let's go here. Let's put you up a notch. How's that?
It's been a minute, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I've missed the last couple because last week I was jetting up to Birmingham to stand in last minute for a lecture there. The week before, I can't remember what happened. Was I on that one or didn't think I
think
was?
you were on that one. I think you've only missed one, maybe.
I thought I missed a couple.
Oh,
But,
I don't know.
oh well.
No
But
one
yeah,
noticed.
No one noticed. No.
No one noticed.
It's good to be back though. It's good to be. Yeah. It's getting busy. I'll tell you, Christmas is fast approaching,
Oh,
and
mate.
I'm very pleased to say that I'm getting loads of inquiries for Christmas. Last year was very, very quiet. It's still not up to pre-COVID levels, but this year's shaping up to be an amazing Christmas. So, yeah, I'm very excited, and lots of good things to come. I think it's Blackpool.
Yeah. Well, I was saying, I know we were discussing, like, obviously every year, for those of you that don't know, Alakazam have an online Christmas party in December where we give away loads of magic. There's like mini lectures, just lots of fun. We'll announce the date really soon. But the last 2 years, I think you've been there, you've missed Santa. I know you've really wanted to see him.
I did, and he's just not. Yeah, so I'm really hoping this year I get to, get to see him.
And you literally just miss him. He goes, and then you arrive.
Yeah, literally, I come in and I don't get it. I don't know why he can't just wait an extra minute.
No, he has to go. He said he's very busy that time of year.
It's like maybe this year Andy will win his bonus.
We'll see.
And maybe he'll win his bonus, and maybe I'll get to meet Santa.
Well, we'll see. All will be revealed.
Yeah.
In December.
There's two things. It's like Christmas is really, I can't wait to see what I get for under the tree, and I can't wait to see what my girlfriend's got in her stockings.
Oh God! Oh, here we go. Right. So I've got a special guest I want to introduce in a moment as well. But before we do that, I've got a few things to talk about. We got a few videos to talk about today as well, a few trailers. But I just want to say thank you to everyone that's been watching and leaving comments on the Alakazam review show. It's really good to know it's been so well received. And one of the ideas I came up with while we were filming the review show was an idea for poker test. And as soon as we had finished the review show, I went into the shop and I performed the idea. Even now that I'm watching it back, I know there's loads of ways to improve it, but I did film the idea. So let's take a look at that, and then we'll be back and we'll introduce our special guest as well.
Perfect.
Right, so card cheats and pickpockets, they actually share the same sort of skills.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to demonstrate it on you now. I've got my wallet here. Inside my wallet, I've got what you would know as a royal flush. Okay, but I want you to imagine that these are credit cards. Okay, so we've got the 10 of spades, Jack, Queen, King, and Ace, but they're all different credit cards. We're going to put them in the wallet, put them face down like this, pop the wallet in your pocket. That is great. And over here, I have got 5 blank-faced red-back cards.
Yep.
Now, to be a good cheat at gambling, you've got to be able to switch cards in and out. And to be a good pickpocket, you've got to be able to switch things in and out. In fact, all we have to do, where did you place the wallet? Okay, all I have to do is wave just here, and I've already switched out one of the cards. Yeah, I got the ace. It's pretty cool, right?
Pretty good.
If I do this, just like that. I should be able to get all 5 cards in my hand. And remember, these had the blue backs. Can I have the wallet out of your pocket? And I'll show you, because now inside the wallet, we don't have the blue cards, we have the red cards. And obviously, these are the blank ones.
Get out.
Great.
High five to you.
Well done, me.
That's brilliant. Really good.
That's great.
So it's just an idea to sort of expand the routine. Right, so let's bring in our guest today. He's been a friend of mine for, I don't know, it's got to be coming up to nearly 30 years, surely. It's the legend that is Tony Curtis. Here he is.
Hi, everybody.
So let me give you guys a bit of background, because you would have heard of Tony's name from such movies as... so when Alakazam first started, it was... I will say, you can disagree with me if you want, Tony, or put me right, but I would say for me, being a young person, because I was only in my early 20s,
Right.
and I think all the other dealers were most probably 40 years old plus,
Yeah.
and I felt it was a very closed shop
Yeah.
to try and get into, like being a magic dealer, going to conventions, and the first person that sort of gave me any time was you.
Right.
So you were the one that I used to go to the convention. I didn't really speak to anyone else because, you know, obviously you guys had been doing the conventions together for years, and then suddenly this new young kid turns up, and he's sort of selling all this stuff. I presume it was a bit weird, but you gave me a lot of time, and since then we've been great mates anyway. But you've always been a bit of a sort of mentor to me in the dealing side. So tell us a bit about your history, because anyone that doesn't know you, you've done a hell of a lot.
Yeah, well, yeah, started in 1986. I was selling Anverdi. Anverdi was a gentleman, he was from Holland, a place called Leiden, and he was probably one of the first people to bring electronic magic to the market, you know, beautifully made plexiglass boxes that did various things. Rising cards was another of his, you know, effects that he brought out. And yeah, I became an agent for him. That started me as a magic dealer. And then obviously I went on to be with Collector's Workshop, and I also produced my own effects, laminated card tricks actually, Night Out with the Girls, Every Inch a Lady, One for the Ladies. People might remember some of those. So that was sort of the early days, you know, and then obviously since then I moved to Thailand, and I manufactured wallets, well, for you and a lot of other magic dealers around the world.
Yeah.
So that's roughly what I've done in the last sort of, well, actually it's 40 years this year since,
Wow.
since I started out as a magic dealer. Yeah.
But you were going to magic convention. Were you, I don't know if this is correct, were you the first British dealer to do an American convention?
No, I don't think so. When I went to America, I actually went with Roy Roth, I think. I did quite a few conventions.
The UK's Roy Roth,
Yeah,
not the
yeah,
Kylo.
the leather man in the UK at the
Yeah.
time. Yeah, I mean, yeah, say going to America, I mean, I did, I think, about 12 conventions in total. I did Collector's Workshops convention. I went to Las Vegas with Wayne Dobson, you know, I think once, or actually possibly twice. So, yeah, you know, but I think I was probably, it was still sort of early days because there wasn't the internet, you see, and of course what's actually now made magic what it is the internet. I mean, love it or hate it, you know. Gone are the days of a catalogue, you know. I mean, when I first started, the only way you could, you know, become known was to produce a catalogue, of which I produced 2, and then obviously, you know, many, people like Supreme Magic. I mean, they used to have a catalogue like a telephone directory.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
like an encyclopedia. I've
Oh,
got
yeah,
one up in my loft.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Amazing, really. I mean, you know, they were a mega force in magic back in the days, you know.
I remember you saying to me, like, very early on, so we are talking about before the internet was a thing, before Alakazam, you know, on the internet was a thing. We were just, like Tony said, we were a dealer. We would go to conventions. You would sell a bit of conventions. We would send out either a monthly or bi-monthly newsletter, and then you would get a week's worth of orders. Then it would dry up until your next newsletter.
That's right, yeah.
And I remember Tony saying to me, you know, it's a great hobby. It's a great sideline. You can't really make a full-time living out of it, because I don't think you really could, unless you had a magic shop.
Yeah.
I don't think you really could, because you would only make any sales at a convention, really, or for a couple of days after your newsletter hit.
That's it, yeah. I mean, when I first started, and I used to do, obviously, I did about, I don't know, probably 20 conventions a year, and I mean, you know, some of them were one-day ones in England. I used to start off with Blackpool, obviously, which is in February, and then the following weekend there'll be an IBM convention run in Brussels, in Belgium.
Yeah.
And then there'll be the Dutch convention, and the Austrian convention, the French convention, Italian convention, and you'd go to all of these ones. Now, in the old days, before the internet, the start of the year, I'd pick out 12 good items to take with me. I used to work with John Cornelius, who obviously was, you know, he always had some good items for sale. So I'd pick 12 items, and that would cover me for the whole year. So I'd use the same 12 items at every convention, but of course now you can't do that, because you know, a new item is new for what, a month, maybe, that's it. But in those days you could.
Yeah.
So.
And I've spoken about this a few times, actually, how different everything is now. Because, you know, you've said there what I've said many a time as well, is we could go and work the same trick for 2 years. And unless you had been to a convention, you wouldn't have seen it. I remember, you know, a good friend of both of ours, Keith Bennett. He would do Blizzard. I think he'd done Blizzard for like 4 or 5 years. And when you got a Magic magazine, it was that one item advertised every single month for a couple of years. The shelf life of Magic, there was far less Magic coming out back then than there is now. Which I mean, I love where we are now as Magic and the Magic business, but it was a completely different era back then.
Yeah. I mean, it was. I mean, you know, and there was probably a lot more people actually that were sort of what I call part-time Magic dealers, whereas now, you know, it's a different thing altogether. You know, you've got to have a place on the internet. You've got to have a website. You know, put out various things through the internet. I mean, and that's it. You've got to keep yourself in the public domain. If you don't, well, you know, you disappear. It's not easy. And also you've got to keep bringing out new items, which is obviously, you know, that's not an easy thing. You know, people don't realise the time it takes from the concept of the idea to getting it on the shelf, if you like. You know, I mean, it's a long process. I mean, I've done stuff that's taken me, you know, over a year. You know, when I brought out, I remember I brought out Colossal Killer, you know, with the wallet, the cards, which all were to be screen printed, and even we had to get the envelopes specially made, you know, to put the cards in. It was a long process to put it all together, and people don't realise that. They think, you know, you have an idea one month and it's out next month. Well, it's not that. And if you remember the exclusive Magic Wagon Alakazam Tony Curtis range that we did, you know, the work that went into that was phenomenal. I mean, really, you know, for what we sold the items for and what they're now selling for, people really have got a bargain, because everything we've ever put out now is worth probably at least double to what it was when we sold it.
Yeah, yeah. And
What's the
go on.
I was going to say, what's the magic scene like out in Thailand?
Well, yes, there is a big magic scene. There's a couple of magic schools. The only problem is the people or the students. They seem to sort of all do the same thing, you know, and they're all copying the Koreans, you know, with the cards and everything. But yeah, I mean, you know, there is quite a, you know, a magic scene out there. I think there's actually an IBM ring in Bangkok, which is affiliated to the IBM in America.
Yeah.
So I did go to it once, you know, but yeah, it's you know, it's mainly youngsters, I must admit, you know, that have got probably rich parents, and they want them to do something different, and you know, they go to a magic school and put an act together for them, if you like. But they are all a little bit similar. That's the only problem.
Yeah. What about magic shops? Are there any magic shops out there?
I understand Tor has got a shop in Bangkok, although I've never been to it.
Right.
But I did understand he had a shop. Other than that, not really. There's a couple of little places in shopping malls that sell tricks.
Right.
There used to be quite a lot of magic stalls, but they seem to have disappeared. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Was it Dusterville? Tony, I've still got and still use your fire wallet. Thanks very much. Yeah, they were great. I used to get up in the morning, 7 o'clock, and I used to have to get the flint wheels to work because they used to be sprayed and mounted on a little metal plate, and I used to have to rub them on cardboard to get them to spark and then fit them inside the leather wallet. So that was a big job for me. Seven in the morning till 3 in the afternoon making fire wallets.
Do you know what? That's the other thing as well that I think people don't realise. It doesn't happen so much now because, you know, it's easier to get cards printed and find manufacturers.
Yeah.
But today, Jenny is literally sitting at the kitchen table putting tricks together.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, just manually.
Yeah.
I remember the good old days. You would have been around the house and I'm sitting at the dining room table. Harry and Holly would have been, you know, little tiny kids trying to help and passing me cards, and you know, it is a completely different world. But a lot of people as well don't realise that obviously you've done TV consultancy work. We've got Wayne Dobson, who I know is a great friend of yours, kindly allowed us to put his whole TV series on Alakazam Unlimited.
Right.
And one of those will be the close-up special, which you were the consultant on.
Yeah. Wayne Dobson close-up. Yeah, I was the magic consultant for that. Yeah, I think it's actually on YouTube as well. I've got a feeling. I think it was Magic Week. Duncan Trillo, I think he uploaded it, but and then also I put a whole segment for the Paul Daniels show when he did his extrasensory perception. He did the Anne Verdi colour match. Which
I
is the
saw
original,
that recently. Yeah.
Well, that was Ali Bongo approached me and said, "Could you make up a special set?"
Because
Obviously,
there was two, wasn't there?
that's
used
right.
In that?
Yeah, there were two stands, and so we made up. Anne Verdi agreed to make an extra stand, and we did all that. Yeah.
That's brilliant. But you were also Wayne's, is the right word, roadie?
Yeah, I did 3 years for Wayne. Yeah, I mean the story with Wayne and I, we were both born in Leicester, and we both lived in the same area, a place called Blaby. We didn't know that obviously at the time, but obviously when Wayne and I met, or we spoke at a convention, I said, "Oh, you're from Leicester?" "Yeah." I said, "Whereabouts?" "Blaby." I said, "Well, I used to live in Blaby." And that was it, and we just clicked, and you know, and then as Wayne started to get busier, you know, with his going out and doing cabaret and what have you, he said to me, would you drive me and, you know, act as my personal assistant, you know, setting everything up and doing the tapes and everything? And I said, yeah, okay. And I did it for 3 years, probably when Wayne was at his peak, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, he used to do some fantastic shows. We'd be, in one night we might be doing 2 shows, one in the Dorchester, one in the Hilton in London, you know. And I remember one year, in a December alone, we did 30 corporate shows. So it was like one a day, you know, but obviously some days were two, and, you know, but we did 30 actual bookings in one December.
And this is when he was on telly, so he's not going out for 200 quid.
Oh, he was going out for a lot of money then. I think there's a lot of people would like to go out for the money today, what he was earning then, you know. Yeah, he was a very hot property, you know, he was a great act. I mean, you know, I've seen him get standing ovations many times, you know. And we've worked with, you know, I mean, one night we were on a show and Elaine Page was the actual main act, and we started, you know, Wayne did his spot. And then I remember, what was his name? Joe Longthorne was at Blazers at Windsor doing a Christmas season, and Wayne was a support act, you know.
But when he was at his peak with regards to, you know, the TV show and everything else, then I presume he's as much as a celebrity as everyone else, isn't he?
Yes, I mean, you know, he was recognised. I mean, you know, if we stopped at the motorway service area and went in and had something to eat or something, you know, people recognised him all the time. I mean, you know, become famous. I mean, the thing was, I mean, he used to be on, he could be on TV most weekends, you know, on one of these variety shows that were running then, you know, Seaside Special or something similar to that, and you'd see him guesting on that. And then obviously he was doing summer seasons and you know, and then obviously he got his own TV series. Actually, that was through a new agent he got, who promised him, you know, Royal Variety TV series, and he did, you know. Well, he guessed first with Joe Longthorne, and then from Joe Longthorne's show, he got his own show with Central Television. I think it ran for 3 series, three lots of 6 shows, so about 18 shows. So. But he was
great.
Yeah, he was putting in big numbers.
He did the Longthorne show for quite a while, didn't he?
Well, that was the first one. Yeah, the Longthorne series was the first break, and then after that he came, you know, he got on to doing his own special, you know. Actually, Patrick Page was the magical advisor for those shows. So, but yeah, there were great shows, you know, some good illusions. Obviously, Linda Lusardi, you know, added to it as well. So yeah, it was a good show all round, really.
No, that's fantastic. I mean, the thing is, you've had a very sort of rich history in magic. I mean, you know everyone, which is...
know everyone, you know. The thing is now, I don't think I was probably not as famous as I was, but you know, yeah. I mean, I've met a lot of people. You know, I've done manufactured. I mean, Larry Becker, sadly not with us anymore. I did a lot of stuff for him. Martin Breeze when he was in business. You know, lots of people. Yeah, and obviously you. I mean, you know, we worked together for a lot, you know, over the years with the wallets and what have you, you know. And as I say, I'm still doing a little bit now. I'm still working a little bit with Magic Wagon in Thailand. But, you know, as I say, I'm over 70 now, and it's time to sort of take it easy.
Well, I mean, it's... Every time, the thing I love, and I've always said this, I love hearing stories of what we call the good old days. And we're going out for dinner tonight, me, you, Jenny and Harry, where I presume a lot of stories will come out. But there's nothing I love more than hearing these old stories. You know, I never got to see Ken Brook.
No, well, that was, I was very lucky that I did. I mean, first time I ever went there, it was actually my mother. I think it was a birthday treat, and she took me to London and we went to Ken Brook's. And then I used to go there. I was working in a menswear shop, and what I used to do, on a Wednesday, I'd get the train from Maidstone and then go up to London and meet Ken Brook, you know, or go to Ken Brook's studio and buy something, you know. And he was very good, Ken, you know. If I said I wanted to buy, son, it's not for you, son, he'd say, you know. And then when you paid your money, he'd give you something extra, you know, for free, you know, say, oh.
Oh, don't start telling people that.
But he was very, you know, very, very, very nice guy, you know, and if you needed help, and you know, can you show me? I remember I bought Sidewalk Shuffle, and you're trying to read the instructions, very difficult to learn, you know, just off the instructions. And Ken spent about half an hour with me showing me how to do it, you know. And it was only through him that I actually, you know, carried on doing it. Otherwise, I'd have probably just put it in a box or sold it, you know.
So was Ken Brooks still dealing when you were dealing? Was
No.
he wasn't. So when did he stop at conventions then?
Well, the first convention I ever went to, I've got a feeling, was 1972, and it was the IBM at Margate.
Right.
I think it's the only time that they've ever had it there. Well, they may have had it there previous to that, but they've certainly not had it there since. And I was working for Roy Baker, because Roy Baker was a bit of a mentor for me. I met him when I was a wine waiter in a hotel, and Roy was doing his cabaret there, and I said, you know, just said, oh, I'm interested in magic. He said, oh, I'm a magic dealer. I thought, oh, great. So that was probably one of the first magic dealers I met.
Yeah.
But Ken, as I say, he was there in 1972. Not sure when he actually finished. The guy who'd know all that information is a guy called Steve Cook, who you know,
Yeah.
because he's done books on Ken. He would know the actual dates that Ken finished. But as I say, he had this little studio in a place called Wardour Street in London. You go up the stairs and they're at Ken Brooks' Magic Place, and a lot of famous people went there, you know.
Do you know what? Funnily enough, I was in, it's a really weird story, but it's about 3 years ago or 4 years ago. I think it was either, I think it was before lockdown.
Right.
I was at the Blackpool convention, standing, having a wee, and some magician standing next to me, and he just starts talking to me. You know, that's not weird. But then he said, maybe he shouldn't have said this when he was standing next to me, but he said, I've got something I want to show you. So at this point, I'm sort of wondering what it is. But he had, Ken Brook used to have a guest book.
All right.
At the shop,
Right.
and he had Ken Brooks' guest book
Right.
from the shop, and it had all like Tommy Cooper and all these
yeah.
people that had signed in.
Yeah.
And what a thing to have, you
Yeah.
know, what a bit of memorabilia to have. And yeah, so that was really interesting. But I'm really fascinated by, so obviously it's my business, but I love looking into old magic dealers, and I love old magic catalogues. One of the best I ever got, I think, was Hank Lee. I don't know if you ever remember those.
Well, Hank Lee, I sometimes I do speak to Hank Lee still in America. I did his Cape Cod convention a couple of times. Once I did my children's lecture there, Adult Magic for Children. But yeah, Hank Lee was another one, and he used to do like a monthly, or probably 2 monthly flyer that used to come in a plastic bag, you know, and he'd advertise. Every magazine had Hank Lee's adverts in.
He was the big advertiser in everything.
Yeah.
The other thing I really liked, I mean, like you were saying about Supreme, I got Hank Lee's catalogue, and I can't find it now. I don't know where it is, but it was like a phone directory.
Yeah.
But beautifully produced,
Yeah.
beautifully printed. And the thing that was great about Hank Lee was back then we didn't use photographs. It was always line drawings, but we all used the same ones. Hank's line drawings were always different to everyone else's. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Phil Goldstein, like Max Maven, used to do the drawings.
Yeah.
And they were phenomenal. And I just love reading the descriptions of tricks.
That's it, yeah. Well, you see, that was the days, you see. I mean, well, you probably still remember when Abracadabra, the weekly magazine, Good Leaf, I mean, you'd get that and you'd look in there and look for the latest trick. And it was, you know, it was the highlight of the week, you know, to get your Abra magazine and see what the new trick was. But going back to the old dealers, I mean, one of an old dealers that I knew, and he was there actually when Ken Brook was going, was Oscar Oswald. And he had a place in Great Portney Street. I don't know whether any viewers would remember him. But he was an old school magic dealer. But you see, when I started out, you know, well, the hobby, if you like, I mean, there was Ken Brooks, there was Oscar Oswald's, there was Tony Corinda had a shop on Tottenham Court Road. You'd walk round the corner then, Davenport's was there, Alan Allen's, Repro, you know,
Wow.
International. So the amount of dealers that there were in London then, and of course what's left now, of course it's the only dealer left now in London is International.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, it's sad to see in a way, because those, you know, bricks and mortar shops were you know, a meeting place, if you like. You know, people used to gather there or go there, and you could always go into any one of them and somebody, I mean, the first time I ever went into Davenport's, Pat Page was working there, you know.
Yeah, I saw Pat Page. That was opposite the museum, right?
Yeah, British Museum, yeah. And I mean, he was, you know, showing me like the die box and the, you know, the top it and stuff, you know. I mean, and when you think back now, you think, crumbs, you know, I did see something very magical, really.
Yeah.
Very lucky to see these people, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Whereas now, people are just, you know, you get the odd video appear on YouTube, maybe of Patrick Page or somebody, but to see them actually work live was you know, was very good. But
yeah, it really was, and it's changed a lot as well, because there's so many products coming out now. Now, you'll back me up on this. You go back 20, 25 years.
40.
Yeah, I had 40 years, but there was mostly one new product every, 4 months, something like that. So for us to learn when we were demming, and bearing in mind, I started off as a shop that sort of sold everything, whereas you sold your own stuff and a few select bits. I was the typical I'll sell everything Murphy's has got sort of thing. But there was still not a lot of product. So I could demonstrate everything on the stand because you had time to learn it.
Yeah.
Now, it's hard enough just trying to find free tricks to learn for our review show because there's so much coming out.
Yeah. I
remember going down to Davenport's when I was a teenager. And we'd go down, me and my mate Og would get the train down from Cambridge. We'd go to the Davenports, and they'd have some trick in there, and we'd go, oh man, this is a new big thing, you know, whatever it was. And then going down like 3 months later, and that same trick being the big item, and we were like disappointed that there wasn't something else there we've seen that one. You know, it was always, it wasn't like now you can go in every week and see something different.
Yeah,
but
literally every day.
Yeah.
Talking about when you say about Murphy's, I remember when Murphy's started out, they only had an A5 catalogue.
Yeah, the green one.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And look at where Murphy's are today, you know, probably the leading magic wholesaler in the world, you know. But, you know, they started out in a very small way. Well, I don't think, was the internet live when Murphy started? I don't think it was it?
I don't think it was, or if it was
Infancy,
very much in its infancy, I don't think it was, because I was still sending out newsletters when Murphy started, because obviously Mark Murphy was part of A1 Multimedia.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, I remember them.
Yeah, so I remember that little, with the shamrock, the little green pamphlet with maybe 8 tricks, 10 tricks.
Yeah.
No, they were really good, interesting days, and I'm glad I experienced those sort of days. I mean, now magic is a completely different animal, really, or magic dealing is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, those days, and do you know what? Me and Jenny, we went through a phase of only doing one convention a year, which was Blackpool. But now we are seeking out these smaller conventions again to get that family feel.
Right, yeah.
You remember the ones we used to do?
Yeah,
and it
I
was
mean,
just a friendly...
Portsmouth, and you remember Portsmouth
Yeah.
Sale Day, and
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you know, they are the big issue obviously now is with conventions. I mean, well, first of all, if you want to go into Europe, it's not so easy as it was, because obviously you've got to, you know, customs documents and stuff like that. And the cost to go, this is the problem, you know, you've got to go there, you've got to come back, you've got to pay for the stand, your hotels and everything. You know what Blackpool costs? It's not a cheap operation.
No.
And that's the problem. And if you can't make money, well, you know, sadly, you don't go.
Yeah.
But, you know, conventions, you know, certainly the small ones, you know, are good. Stevenage, I mean, I remember Stevenage one day of Magic, which is a great convention,
Yeah.
you know. But, I mean, sadly, a lot of them have gone now. I think Portsmouth's still running.
Yeah, I think Portsmouth went and then started up again, I think. We're doing the Exonian one.
Right.
But for me and Jen now, it's more about we have a couple of days away. We get to meet lovely people, and it's still got that. If anyone watching has never been to a convention, try out some of the small ones, because it's just a really friendly environment. They're just fun, they're relaxed, you chat to everyone, and they are a labour of love. You might not get the big US names that you're going to get at somewhere like Blackpool, but you're still going to get great lectures, you're still going to watch some great magic, but it's a right feel-good thing, a small convention, I think.
I think the Alakazam, there should be an Alakazam one-day convention.
Do you know what? We've been thinking about it for years, and it seems like it may happen next year.
Right. Well, you've got it here. I mean, well, you've got the International Hotel up the road there. I mean, there's, you know, I mean, and it's easy even for people to come from the continent, isn't it? I mean, you can come over on the Eurostar. They still stop at Ashford, don't they? Oh,
they don't, but I think they may be starting up again in 2025.
Okay.
Which would be great.
Yeah.
If they were.
Yeah.
Maybe they've heard about the convention. They've gone, right, let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, get them to do it. Yeah, say right, we'll stop the train. Yeah.
Even just this one weekend.
Yeah.
Stop. Yeah.
Trouble is, it's, you know, you've got to. I suppose it's the customs and everything else. That's the issue. You know, you've got to have people there. I don't know whether not sure whether the customs are actually on the train or how it works. I have done the Eurostar, but only to go into Belgium.
Yeah.
And it was great. I mean, fantastic, really. You know, it's just.
Well, I worked in Belgium for 6 or 7 weeks on a TV show.
Right.
And on Monday morning, I used to jump on the Eurostar.
Yeah.
I'd be in Belgium for like an hour and 40 minutes later.
Yeah.
And then I used to stay in a hotel all week and then come back on a Friday evening. But it was such a lovely journey. Just used to put a movie on my iPad. By the time I finished it, I was in Belgium. It was great. So we've got a few videos that we are going to play and a few performances. So just want to say thank you, Tony. We'll probably be back to you later.
Right.
But thank you so much. And there's been a lot of love coming through and a lot of people saying it was a great, interesting conversation and everything else. And I'm looking forward to hearing more stories tonight over dinner. Because that's what I like to hear.
The X-rated ones.
Yeah, the proper stories of what happened.
Before you go, Tony, when will you be back over next?
Well, that I'm not sure. I go back on the 30th of this month, maybe sometime next year, you know, but I'll probably come over. Oh, great to see you. Thanks, mate. Probably next year sometime, you know. I come over to see my daughter, so obviously, you know, I've got to pop over and see her, but that's it really. So no other family to see. So, but yeah, next year.
Cool.
But you never know. Might be. Oh, we've got to talk. Yes, we'll talk about that. Yeah, we've got something to talk about anyway. Maybe that could be a little collab coming out.
Yes.
We'll say no more at the moment, but
Yeah.
Exciting.
We'll be chatting.
well,
about
you
that.
know, now I'm in Thailand. You know, a hop over to China's not such a problem. I can get there in a couple of hours. You know, so it could be an opportunity for Alakazam and me and what have you. So
Yeah.
yeah, let's see what we can do. Sorry, I miss you. Oh, Mike. Okay, Mike. Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
Also, just want to say as well, talking about smaller conventions, we've got the Shindig happening this November.
November the 8th, 9th and 10th. The 9th is the main day.
Yeah.
We go out for dinner on the Friday. I'm providing dinner on the Friday at a small restaurant. We're all going to go there and chat and talk magic. And then we've got, I've just confirmed Mike Sullivan's going to be there. So we're going to have Dietrich. He can't guarantee Wayne will be there because of the logistics of bringing him along, but if he can, he will. But not to really, you know, Wayne may be there, but possibly or possibly not. And then we've got Alakazam, we've got Monster Magic, and we've got Jamie Dawes himself having a stand, and lectures from Andy Smith and Martin Pierce. So it's going to be a really good one, and tickets on sale now.
And where did I get the tickets, Mr. Goodman?
WGMagicShop.com. WGMagicShop.com.
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so we're going to play a little trailer, and then we're going to come back, and hopefully you're going to be ready to perform something with a utensil of some sort. But before we go into this trailer, this is for this effect, which is called Nothing But the Truth.
I love it.
2.0. I was going to say, when this first came out, I used to dem it in the shop all the time. And
Has it been updated?
It has been updated. I think the cards are the same, but I think you're getting more reveals now. Whereas only ever come with the one. But I think you get more now. But even if it was the same one,
I've got
two. Yeah, now with two reveal options.
That's great. I've got three of them at least, all in different wallets. It's such an easy. I love it. It's such a great fit. It's Liam Montier, isn't it?
No, Cameron.
Oh, sorry. Yes, Cameron. Wasn't it released?
It's Big Blind, but it's Cameron Francis. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is phenomenal. Let's drop the trailer and have a look at this.
Agent, I have a new mission for you. Everything is in this folder, but before you open it and see what's inside, let me give you a few details. Inside this folder, you're gonna find a state-of-the-art lie detecting machine. No, not that one. No, that one, we upgraded from that one. Now it's a beautiful packet that you can fit in your pocket. The spectator is going to select the playing card. Then you're gonna ask them a series of questions, and they can choose to tell the truth or lie. You're going to use all of the information you get against them in order to find their playing card. Now you see why we can afford nothing but the truth on this case. It's a fun, engaging, and commercial effect that works great with audiences of any size. Now take this case, learn it, execute it, because once you do it, it will leave a lasting impression on your audience. This is Cameron Francis, Nothing But the Truth.
So what we're going to do is, now we have not met before, right? So how I like to get to know people is by administering a lie detector test, because I'm a romantic, what can I say? And trust me, it's okay. I'll give you something to lie or tell the truth about, but it'll just be a playing card to keep it simple, all right? So it was Quran, right?
Yes.
Yeah, all right. What I want you to do is actually, would you touch your card, point to one?
Let's go this.
That one right there?
Yes.
Yeah, all right, look, here's what I want to do. I want you to take a look at that card.
Yeah, got it.
I want everyone to see it. Do you see it too? You got it, Biz? All right, and what we're going to do is we are going to, I'm going to give you something to lie or tell the truth about. That was the card, so remember the card, and I'm going to pull out my lie detector right here. This is a very sophisticated piece of machinery. Let me just turn it on. Boop. Hold on one second. Got to wait for it to boot up. It runs on Windows XP. Ah, it's booted up. Okay, great. So now, you guys can lie or tell the truth about this card. It doesn't matter. My lie detector will always know. The first question I have is, was the card red or black? Was it red or black? Or anyone can answer. It was red. So what we're going to do is I'm going to transfer one card from top to bottom for each letter of the word red. So that's R-E-D. That's how I input the data. Boop, beep, boop, 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 boop. And we'll see. It says, oh, true. That's true. It did. It was red. So the lie detector knew that. That's very good. So now we know it's red. Was it a heart or a diamond? You can lie or tell the truth, doesn't matter. Heart or diamond? It was a diamond? All right, so once again, I'm going to input the data, transferring one card from top to bottom for each letter of the word diamonds. D-I-A-M-O-N-D-S, and beep, boop, 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 and let's see. Oh, ding, ding, ding. That's true. You guys are very honest. I like this. Okay. So we know it was a diamond. Was it a high card or a low card?
It was a high card.
It was a high card. Okay, so once again, I transfer one card from top to bottom. Here's how I input. I say, I spell H-I-G-H, beep, boop, 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 and, ooh, that was a lie. All right, Karan, let's see here. No, that's fine, man. It's all good. So we know it was a low card in that case. Low. So it was it like a deuce 3 or a 4? Which one?
It was a 4.
It was a 4. Okay. So we'll spell F-O-U-R and beep, boop, 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 and let's see. Oh, ding, ding, ding. That's true. So we know through process of elimination that your card that you chose was the 4 of diamonds, right? Like I said, this lie detector, it tells the truth all the time. Can't be fooled at all. It always tells you exactly what the card is. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate that.
I always
So
love
cool.
the fact. I always love the fact that at the end, they all change into the card, and then you show every card. And the first time I saw that, completely floored me. I love it. It's such a great effect. Easy to do, easy to understand, easy for the spectators to follow, and just
And
a great
when
little lie detector.
Yeah, when I used to demo it in the shop, I will start demoing it again, actually, now it's back out. But that was the moment that spectators used to freak, when you turn them over and just show all the cards of their card. So, before we get into this, Wayne, I'm going to say, this is big news. You must have heard it already. But these bad boys, liquid forks. Now, these were created by David Penn and World Magic Shop. They are the go-to forks for metal bending. And Alakazam Magic have now purchased the sole rights to this product. So we're now the only place in the world you can get these. And they are phenomenal. If you haven't done metal bending before, you will be shocked with the reactions you get. Now, Harry learnt this on, so when you buy a box, you get 50 forks inside there. Remember, you're using one fork for every performance. You get 50 in there, so it only costs you 50 pence a performance because they're £25 a box. But you also get a full tutorial that teaches you how to do a routine. Now, that being said, we're going to be adding more content to Liquid Fork Purchasers videos. So I've got some moves from my fork bending routine that aren't covered in here, which I'm going to teach. I know my friend Mark Spellman's going to teach some stuff. So you're going to be getting a lot more. But there is a solid routine on here. And I'm going to be having Mark Spellman's coming down next week. He's coming to stay with me next week. And I'm going to film a discussion with Mark discussing fork bending our thoughts on it, how to make it more powerful, and that will be available as well. But these are only $24.99. Now, Wayne's going to give us a live performance of it. But before you do, Wayne,
Yep.
let's play the trailer
Okay.
and then get back.
My name is Tom Mullinger, and for over a decade I have been making forks look like this. And after hundreds and hundreds of performances, liquid metal forks get my highest recommendation. Absolutely the best fork bending forks on the market. I mean, if they're good enough for Morgan Strebler, they're good enough for me.
Hello guys, I'm here outside Alakazam Magic and we are so excited to announce that we are now the proud owners of Liquid Forks. Liquid Forks are the best forks in the industry for metal bending. Honestly, if you've done metal bending before, you will love these forks because they are the best. If you've never done metal bending before, you will love these forks because every single pack comes with the Liquid Forks routine taught by our very good friend David Penn. You are going to absolutely love this. It leaves your spectator with an impossible object that they're just going to remember for the rest of their lives. Ladies and gentlemen, we're proud to introduce Liquid Forks.
It's very exciting news.
Honestly, it's brilliant because I haven't done fork bending or spoon bending for a few years. I might do it occasionally when we're out, sort of impromptu, but obviously getting this has relit my passion for fork bending, especially now because I was helping Harry with the routine and everything else. But on Saturday, we were at my nephew's wedding and I performed it at the table and then Harry was performing it around and about sort of at a gig. He's just fallen in love with fork bending. He's got a gig coming up Friday. And bearing in mind, Harry learnt the basic routine in an hour. And he can now bend forks. In fact, just before we did the live, I had 2 customers in the shop. Harry demmed it on them. They both left the shop with liquid forks.
It's a simple routine, but it is very. If you do it correctly, it's really magical. They you know, especially as they, you know, they're not gimmicks. They're not. They can keep. Everyone I do this for, they keep the fork.
Yeah.
You know, I give it away. It's no good to me at the end of it, so I give it away to them.
Yeah.
And it's just a lovely little keepsake. I have a little gag that I do at the end when I give it to them. Do you know, I was talking to my friend Tom about this as well. I do this at every wedding I do, but I don't give it to the bride or groom. I do it at the top table, and I give it to one of the people. So it's usually the chief bridesmaid or the best man, and I give it to them as a gift. And it's such, because I'm doing anniversary or lovers waltz now. I do for the bride and groom, and I do this for the best man or for the chief bridesmaid.
Yeah.
And it's such a lovely,
no,
lovely little giveaway.
It's so good. Now, I will say, before liquid forks come out, it was really hard to find forks to do this with. And when you did find them, you would buy a pack of, let's say, 12 forks or whatever it was, and out of that pack, only 2 would be any good for doing it. So it was such a pain. Now, the thing is...
Go on.
No, I was going to say, the thing with these is these have been made specifically for doing fork bending. So David Penn has had them engineered in such a way that they're not flimsy forks. So, you know, they feel solid. Once they're bent, it takes, you know, it takes some strength to put them back. so they are solid, real forks. They're not gimmicked in any way, but they've been made in a specific way, which makes them perfect for this routine. So should I bring you up full screen?
Oh, we can do it like this. I think they can probably see me all right. So obviously I use, there's a lot of, yeah, I'll just do it. So I bring it out, I hand it to somebody, they can have a look at it, they can bang it on the table. I normally get them to bang it on the table a bit because it gets everyone's attention around the table. And I ask them if they remember Uri Geller, because obviously he was the most famous of all the people who would do this kind of thing. And I would say that Yuri would used to rub it like this, and as he rubbed it, it would start to bend. And some people, even when I do that, you can see it bending a little tiny bit there. But I actually like to hold it down here and to shake it at this. And if you watch down this end, you can actually see right here that it starts to bend just like so. That's a proper bend in it. And what's quite nice here is I can give that out to them, and that is difficult. It kind of locks in place, so it is quite difficult to get it back. So that's the first one. I say the second one happens a little tiny bit quicker. So the first one's bent. The second one happens a little bit quicker, but you can see they're perfectly synchronized.
I love that display as well.
That's mine. That is. I'm not going to try and claim anything for it, but that's something I used to do all the time. Because I work here, I'm showing it to the whole table. You see me do it on the video as well, and you do that, and everyone can see it, and you see it spinning, and there's no doubt there that it's now completely bent. Now I get them to hold up their hand, they hold it, they shake it, and when they stop shaking it, it's now bent a little bit more. Not as much as when I did it, because, obviously. Now I say we're going to try this. This is going to be hard to do to the camera, but if you watch here, you're actually going to see it bending, and I do the Galarian bend, and I have it bend in on itself. And then finally, I would invite the person to come up here. I'll straighten it up, and I say, would you come over and take it? They hold it, and I say, can you feel it turning in their hand? And they say yes. I say, can you feel it turning now? I've stopped turning it. They say no. I get a little blow, and now it's got a perfect corkscrew. At this point, I normally hand it to one of the guys, and I say, you're a big guy, can you untwist it? And of course they can't. And then finally, we get a little twist here, and I sometimes do this one here, where you shake it, rub it here, and it starts to bend up until it's bent over like so. And if it's a child or a young person, I say, take this home, knock it into a bit of wood, get your dad to cut it out, and it's great for hanging your rings and your necklaces on. And sometimes if I'm really messing about, I'll do a little twist like this, and I can turn the tines up a little bit as well. I don't know if you can see that there. So I've given the tine there as well, and that one as well. I can just hold that and just give the little rub there, and it just turns up a little tiny bit. And then they keep it, and it's a lovely little piece of art, lovely piece of souvenir, and they get to keep it. It's got the corkscrew in it. It's completely mangled up, and that's for you to keep as a souvenir. And I think it's really beautiful. So from that to that,
yeah, it's honestly the reaction.
And that was rushed. I normally take a lot more time with it. That was not rushed, but that was sped up because normally
I mean, you're just showing the moves, and this is what I was saying to Harry this morning, because Harry showed me the routine. Now, a lot of people, Morgan Strebler is without doubt one of the kings of metal bending of modern times, without a doubt. The one thing that I like about metal bending is doing it slow.
Yeah,
I like the fact I've got a couple of moves which I showed Harry today, which I will teach and put on the video as well. But where it just happens, like that first time bend, there's none of that shaking. I'm literally rubbing it, and they just see the time bending in front of their eyes.
Some people like to do it like this, so they have it bent here, or they have it like here, and then they just, or not leaving like that, just like that, and then just rub here. If I'm doing one-on-one, you can rub it here, and you can just get a very slight bend on it.
Mine happens right up in front of their eyes, and it bends in front of them. But this is what I was saying. I do think that for me, when I perform it, I just slow everything down, and you can see when you were doing it on the video, you do the bend, but then you leave time for it to sink in.
Yeah,
you leave time, so you're actually showing every moment, because each one of those bends gets. If you imagine doing a card trick and doing a reveal, right? So you do a card trick, card appears in your wallet, you get your reaction. With metal bending, you're getting 5 of those reactions.
Yeah.
You know, you do your first bend. As far as they're concerned, that time's bent. That's the best trick I've ever seen. Wow, that's fantastic. That's great. Reaction number 1. Then you go on to do something else. Oh my God, that was even better than the time bend. Then it goes on, then it goes on, then it goes on. And it's incredible when you don't get that from almost any other effect, where you get so many moments of
It's also a reputation maker. I get people come up to me at weddings and go, "Can you do that again for my mate? He's just turned up. Can you do the fork for him?" You know, and it's one of those that, you know, they want to see it again and again. And yeah, they can't work it out. It's got natural misdirection built into it, you know, because you're handling the fork. It's not like you're trying to secretly get it out or switch it. It's all happening in your hands. And, you know, you're doing the actions while discussing it and while showing it.
Yeah.
And so, you know, yeah, they watch it. And in some cases, you know, the second time they see it or more, the more confused or confounded they get, because they're like, I can't see it happening. It's just bending.
Yeah.
I love it when they take the fork, because I let them have it and they go, I cannot move this at all. And you're like, that's great. I don't know if it's something in there, but it seems like if you give it a good bend like that, where it's like a 90 degree, it kind of locks it into place.
Yeah, because when a lot of the forks that were released for fork bending, they were so flimsy to the point that you could just go.
Yeah.
And it was pointless. You do it with that and everyone will go, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. A bendy fork.
Yeah. Whereas these, you're absolutely right. They've been made to a consistency where they feel really tough. But if you know the techniques, it's
right
actually
now
not hard.
If I push this now, that will move really easy.
Yeah.
If I try and put it back, it's really difficult.
Yeah.
Which is lovely, because they're not going to push it anymore. They're going to pull, and it just, yeah. I mean,
and the thing is, with a routine, when you learn how to do fork bending, not only should they think, well, it's hard to bend, but if you do a fork bending routine correctly, they shouldn't even think there was a moment where you could have bent it.
No.
That's the thing. There's no, and it's all about choreography and the moments those moves happen and everything else. And this is something I want to film with Mark next week. Just a little discussion on choreography, making it smoother, making it more believable, getting more moments of impact. Now, you know, Spellman, I've been doing fork bending for, I most probably started 15 years ago, doing it when I was performing. But Mark was doing it way before me, and I think even to this day it's still a big part of Mark's act. He still does spoon bending and fork bending. So yeah, but that's great. It's something we're really pleased with, and really want to get you guys into it, because I tell you what, you want great reactions, and once you know the techniques, when you're out at a restaurant or whatever, chances are you will be able to use those techniques on the cutlery you've got.
Well, 2 things there. One, this is not just a close-up effect. I do my parlour shows where I've got a banqueting table. Secondly, when I was working Frankie and Benny's way back in the day, one summer holidays, they booked me to work Monday to Friday, 12 till 2 every single day. It was a great gig. And at the end of the summer, I was talking to my manager at the restaurant, and he said, I don't know what's going on. We've lost about 600 forks this summer.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, really? That's weird.
Well, I will say this, this question has just come up. And believe it or not, David, Andy asked me exactly the same question today. And what Wayne said, basically, I never had that situation where people said it, because you always hand out a fork first. And what I used to do is, I've got 2 methods. One of them was I would have 2 forks in my pocket, one of them with a tension bar in it. Or alternatively, I would have 2 forks in my pocket. I would hand them out and I would say, no, I used to use their forks for this, but I've been told by the management if I keep ruining their forks, they won't let me come in anymore. So I want you to examine both of these for me. So they examine both forks and I say, now I need to use one, you're going to have one. Which one should I have? Which one do you want? Now they hand me a fork and I say, just follow along with me. All you're going to do is rub here and it's going to start to bend. Now, my one, it's a bit like that torn, no tear paper effect. You know, when you've got the person next to you and you're tearing it, but they can't tear it, but it's that. So I'm doing all these moves and every so often I'm saying, oh, how are you getting along sort of thing. But they can't do anything with theirs. But now they've examined both. They've given you anyone they wanted, and they're trying to do exactly the same thing with their fork.
Yeah.
So you've covered all bases.
If you watch the video again, it's on the site of me doing it in that video, you'll see that I've got a couple more forks in my top pocket.
Yeah.
One, because it's a talking point. What's the fork for? Oh, well, let me show you. But secondly, if people start saying, I say, the management have very kindly given me some forks to do this with today, because they don't want you ruining the ones on the table, so they give me some from out the back for the staff cutlery, and that gets around that every time. And I would always say, if I'm doing it in a wedding venue that doesn't know me or a restaurant that doesn't know me, I say to them, I'm going to be doing some fork bending. I've brought my own forks with me. You know, they might see them on the table afterwards, you know, and I'm also going to be doing the breaking the glass gag. Yeah. You know, I'm not really going to break your glasses, just if you see it, just, you know, just so you know. And I've never had an issue with it, never had a problem with it.
And the other thing is, bearing in mind, once you learn the techniques, there is a possibility you will be able to do it with the fork on the table if you so desired. But you don't want to start twisting up the forks of the restaurant, because I can almost guarantee you won't be invited back.
No. Yeah, no, you're best off doing it with these ones, and yeah.
And these are, for all intents and purposes, these are forks. They're not rubber. They're not.
You can use this in your kitchen if you run out of forks.
Yeah.
This is a proper fork. This is a legitimate fork. That's why you can let them keep them, because even if they strain them out, it's a fork. It's not. There's no secret compartments or bits attached to it or anything like that. It is just a fork, and yeah, you don't. Yeah. There's not much more I can say about that, really.
No, that's it. Right, so I think we've got one more video to play, and then we are going to pop in and say our goodbyes. We'll speak to Tony once more and say our goodbyes to Tony. But here we go. Let's take a look at this.
Discover the spellbinding world of Red Mist, a master magician from France. From a young age, Red Mist has mesmerized audiences with his refined card manipulations and ingenious use of psychology to create truly magical moments. In his new book, Red Mist unveils the secrets behind his creations, a timeless pursuit of purity where gestures and words blend to craft enchanting effects. You'll delve into the subtle art of card manipulation and mind games, where minimal techniques and psychological insights combine to amaze even the most seasoned magicians. Experience the wonder through Pure Ambition, the purest ambitious card effect ever. This 56-page, beautifully crafted softcover book from Three Monkeys Publishing is more than just a book. It's an invitation to join Red Mist on an unforgettable magical journey. Discover invisible dice, a captivating card-at-number trick, or let the spectator become the magician in the routine The Devil is Under the Table. Unlock the secrets of Red Mist's magic. Order your copy today and delve into psychological card magic.
My name is Red Nist, and this is Redemption.
So there we go.
Very nice.
Very nice indeed. Now this, as far as I'm aware, is a limited edition book. We have got a few copies in stock, so grab one if you can. So that was 4 products we spoke about today. Poker Test 2.0, Nothing But the Truth 2.0, Liquid Forks, and Redemption. Also, I want to say as well, if you're interested in Liquid Forks, it's up there as 2 options. You can either just buy a pack, or if you are a Liquid Fork user and you never want to be without them, we've got a monthly subscription where you can get a box delivered to your door every single month, and you save 10% on the price every time you buy them. Okay, so yeah. That's it. So I just want to say a big thank you to our very special guest today, Mr. Tony Curtis.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Wayne.
And my co-host, the amazing Mr. Wayne Goodman.
And my co-host, the amazing Mr. Peter Nardi.
So guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I'm trying to remember which way I've got a point.
It's yeah, it's always
it's the opposite. I've got to remember it's the opposite.
Front, yeah.
Thank you, Peter. It should do a thing where I pass a drink through and you take it. Hold on. I did have a can of Coke here earlier. Let's go
well, I haven't got one here.
Yeah, no, it would have been quite funny though. Yeah, I'll give you a fork. Oh, it sends a whole box of them.
So I want to say as well, before we go, keep your eyes open on our emails, because this Sunday evening we may have a very special product launch happening on Facebook and YouTube. All right, I'm not going to say anything else yet, but keep an eye on our emails. We'll let you know if it's happening. We'll let you know what time. It might be Sunday evening, might be Sunday afternoon, might not be Sunday at all. Who knows? Keep your eyes on the emails. Exciting.
Is there anything else happening this week? There's no academies, is there?
No academies this week. No, just the usual. We've got the vlog. Make sure you check out our blogs. We'll have a review show this Sunday as well. Lots of good stuff happening. There was a deep dive went live Sunday as well with Adam Dadswell about his Fantastic Effect Gradient. If you haven't watched that, go and have a watch on our YouTube channel. And that's about it for this week. We're already at 3:15, so we've overrun.
I had a nice chat with an interview with Craig Petty last week that's gone live on his Magic TV channel on YouTube.
And it was a great interview. I listened to it on Sunday.
It was lovely. Craig's a great interviewer though. He's great to, I will just very quickly add though, very quickly, if anybody is thinking of going down to the Exonian, it's about 3 weeks time. Peter's going to be there. I'm going to have a stand there as well. It's going to be a really nice, relaxing midweek convention. So, if you're thinking about it, come along and say hello. It would be lovely to meet you.
Brilliant.
And if you want, and the shindig as well. Don't forget the shindig.
Don't forget it. Right, guys, that's it. I am going to leave you with Liquid Forks again. But until next week, or maybe this Sunday, have yourselves a great week.
Bye for now.
My name is Tom Mullinger, and for over a decade I've been making forks look like this. And after hundreds and hundreds of performances, Liquid Metal Forks get my highest recommendation. Absolutely the best fork bending forks on the market. I mean, if they're good enough for Morgan Strebler, they're good enough for me.
Hello guys, I'm here outside Alakazam Magic and we are so excited to announce that we are now the proud owners of Liquid Forks. Liquid Forks are the best forks in the industry for metal bending. Honestly, if you've done metal bending before, you will love these forks because they are the best. If you've never done metal bending before, you will love these forks because every single pack comes with the Liquid Forks routine taught by our very good friend David Penn. You are going to absolutely love this. It leaves your spectator with an impossible object that they're just going to remember for the rest of their lives. Ladies and gentlemen, we're proud to introduce Liquid Forks.